Well, so hello there, boys and girls. It is a wonderful day for birding. I just really appreciate the fact that we're able to get together here at the gate of the John Olin Nature Preserve. Thank you so much. So the first thing you do when someone hands you a pair of binoculars is to be sure to put the string or the strap around your neck. So here's what we do when we take binoculars down the trail. Good birders will have them at the ready, and that simply means that they're not dangling down and they're not at your eyes, but they're kind of halfway in between. And so being at the ready means that as you scan back and forth, you'll be able to look up at the tree limbs, the trunks, up at the tree top, and even soaring in the sky. And as you do that, you'll be able to hear or see something, and then when it lands or when you get a good idea of where its location is, then you can lift your binoculars up. And of course the other thing is, if you're walking down the trail with them at your ready and you do happen to trip and you let go, they fall, but they don't fall to the ground. Follow me, please. Well, now that we're out here on the trail itself, let's repeat a couple of things. The one thing I want to mention again is this thing called scanning. And really, that means nothing more than as you're walking along, you look to your right, and then you look to your left, and then you look at the tree trunks, the tree limbs, and don't forget to look behind you every once in a while to see if you missed anything, and to look up in the sky to see if there's anything soaring. And do you know that at this location, you might be able to see hawks, bald eagles, or a turkey vulture. If you want to know the difference, first of all, look for this. If the bird you're looking at in the sky has its wings up like this, what letter of the alphabet is that? Right, Hendricks. Right, that's a V, and V stands for vulture, especially if you see the bird doing this. And if you are able to get the binoculars on the bird, you might see that it has a red head, whereas an eagle would have a white head and a white tail if it's a grown-up eagle. So that's one way of knowing the difference. All right. So, by the way, we just heard a pileated woodpecker out here. Isn't that great? I'm just so happy that we're able to do this, and I just hope that we're all able to get together soon and be out here together on another hike. Now, we're going to be listening for certain birds out here, and of course, the birds you see depend on what time of year it is. So right now, we're looking for the beginning of warblers coming back through. But in the meantime, we're able to see some birds and hear birds. And remember, we're not just bird watchers, we're bird listeners. And if you see or hear a bird right now that's blue, there are three out here. There's a blue bird, but it's not a bluebird. And there's another blue bird, but it's not a bluebird either. So, any idea what one of the blue birds might be? Why, yes, exactly. Hazel, I am so proud of you. You know a blue jay. And the other one might be an Indigo Bunting. We'll look that up later in the book. Indigo Bunting. And of course, the one that is the blue bird is the eastern bluebird. And they're nesting out here in the summer. And then we talk about other birds that say their own names. Chickadee. You can listen carefully and you hear chickadee-dee-dee, or you listen for a whistle like this. And that's a chickadee. All right. So no, I don't think you'll believe this at first, but there's actually a bird out here right now that says drink your tea. Okay, and that's a towhee. So we'll listen for that as well. All right. Have you scanned the sky to make sure? Oh, I would just really, really, really think it would be special if the pelicans would come over. We've had hundreds fly over at the same time and just soar in a circular motion. All right? And I want you to remember something to help you remember what pelicans are all about. Pelican, pelican, its beak can hold more than its belly can. Let's say that again together. Pelican, pelican, its beak can hold more than its belly can. And that's thanks to Ogden Nash who said that. All right, let's go on a little farther down the trail. Hey, boys and girls, you know, just heard a goldfinch go over. And I have to tell you something about, I guess 2 or 3 years ago, there was a kindergartner that looked at me and said, Mr. Schindewolf, there aren't any goldfish up in that tree. And I think maybe it's a good sign for us to make sure we enunciate, which is just a fancy word for saying it plainly. So would you repeat after me? Goldfinch. Goldfinch. Good. Ch. Good. And of course, down in Tennessee, they call that the wild canary because it is that beautiful yellow, but it won't be that way long. Pretty soon, they stay around, but they look like an entirely different bird. They're a kind of a green color during the wintertime. Right now, there's still some that are bright yellow with a black cap. And that's the other name for the chickadee, the black-capped chickadee. Many of our birds have first and last names, just like you do. So we've got the eastern towhee, the black-capped chickadee. We've got the red-headed woodpecker. Oh, by the way, would somebody tell me what color the head is of a red-headed woodpecker? Exactly. It's red. What about a red-bellied woodpecker? What color is its belly? Why, it's a red belly. There's even a bird out here that's fun to say. Its name is fun to say. It's the yellow-bellied sapsucker. And of course, its belly is yellow. And I'm not just being silly. Birds are named for the logical things about the way they're colored or the way they make sounds. So there's different reasons for birds being named. Often they're even named after the first person that saw them way back in history. All right, now we're at a very special place. This is what was once a skeet range, and we still refer to it as that. There's not any of that activity going on now, but this is a very special place for a lot of reasons. And if you look, cannot find a better, more magnificent view across the Mississippi River. And so we're going to go out and just enjoy looking down on the river road, looking across the river. And you know what? This is where Clyde usually shows up. So we'll just have to keep an eye out. But it also is where the pelicans can be seen. And as you can see, because the trees are on the edge, we've got a very, very good view of things that could soar. And by the way, when you see what we call the edge effect, where the forest meets an open space and brush and that type of thing, that's where the birds like to congregate. So always kind of scan, especially right at the edge. That's a butterfly, but it could have been a goldfinch. It's got the right color. So we'll just have to wait and see what we can see. Another butterfly. Look at that view. Isn't that magnificent? The Mississippi River. Can someone spell Mississippi? Right. Excellent. All right. And if we're in Illinois, looking across the Mississippi, that's the state of Missouri. All right. Okay. Well, I hear a chickadee down here. Chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Oh, and there's, look at there. I believe that might have been an Indigo Bunting, one of those blue birds. All right, boys and girls, you have been such a good group. I really appreciate that. And I hope that we can get together again and have a bird hike with us being right here and even on down the trail a little bit. Thank you.